All right, happy Columbus Day to you. It's officially Columbus Day. Donald Trump signed that order again last week. Got a, not a stand, well, I guess it was a standing ovation because the media was already standing as he signed it. So yes, a standing ovation from the media, which shocked even Donald Trump how excited they were that he was declaring it Christopher Columbus Day. We love the Italians. But it's even a bigger day than just Columbus Day. About 2 hours ago, as of this moment, Donald Trump landed in Israel. About an hour ago, all 20 of the living hostages were released by Hamas. Right now, at this very moment, Donald Trump is listening to stories from the families and the surviving hostages. This is an amazing day in Israel. I'm sure we'll cover that more in depth as it happens throughout the day. But, you know, I'm reminded of the old phrase, a lie can get around the world before the truth can even get its shoes on. Lies spread quickly. And so it's important to counter lies as soon as you find them. Now, I woke up Saturday morning, went on my social media, looking at X, and there's Qatar is trending. Why is Qatar trending, I'm asking myself. And I was kind of surprised to see some high-profile MAGA personalities, people on social media that, basically just love to talk about MAGA, and even a couple of people running as a MAGA candidate for, like the lady you're going to hear from in just a moment, she's running for a House seat as a MAGA candidate, and they are slamming Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump for their actions on Friday. What were they complaining about?
Okay, so allowing Qatar to build an Air Force base inside the United States of America. This has to be one of the dumbest things I've ever heard from any administration ever.
I voted for America first and for mass deportations, not for a bunch of Qatari Muslims flying fighter jets over our schools, homes, churches, and even synagogues.
What? How could I have missed an announcement of that magnitude? For the first ever foreign Air Force base to be built on U.S. soil is coming, and it's coming from Qatar. What in the world is going on here? Well, so then I said, I got to go find that announcement from Pete Hegseth. What did he actually say?
I'm also proud that today we're signing a letter of acceptance to build a Qatari Emiri Air Force facility at the Mountain Home Air Base in Idaho.
A facility? That doesn't sound like a base. What is a facility? Well, quick little Google search. If these people had just done their own Google search, they would have seen that we already have Air Force training detachments, the same thing that you see with Qatar, what they're going to get for Singapore. That's in Arizona, Germany's at Texas. The Netherlands has got one also at Shepherd Air Force Base in Texas. We got one for the Italians down in Elgin Air Force Base in Florida. Turkey has got one. If you like the Muslims, you got the Turkish Muslims over there at Tucson Air Force Base in Arizona. Poland has got one. I mean, there's long lists of countries that have built these things. We've been doing this. The first one, obviously, was during World War II, when we were trying to help the British learn how to fly. So they came, and I think they got their first one in Texas. But 1981, we built another one. 1960s, we've built dozens of these things. The lie, these people believed a lie. They either they didn't choose to listen to the words that Pete Hegseth was using, or I don't even understand how that lie got started. I'm sure somebody on the left started it, and they just picked up and ran with it without fact-checking it. All right, another huge moment. And listen, I have to chastise the Trump administration here. Love the Trump administration, think they do a great job. I believe that our vice president is one of the most eloquent vice presidents we've ever had, certainly a huge step up from last vice president. And he made the rounds. He was on every morning show possible, it seemed, yesterday. The one clip that's getting a lot of play yesterday and into this morning is his appearance on George Stephanopoulos. And I'm going to play the entire minute or so of this just so you can hear what everybody's talking about.
There's no evidence of that. And here's, George, why fewer and fewer people watch your program and why you're losing credibility. Because you're talking for now 5 minutes with the Vice President of the United States about this story regarding Tom Homan, a story that I've read about, but I don't even know the video that you're talking about. Meanwhile, Low-income women can't get food because the Democrats and Chuck Schumer have shut down the government. Right now, we're trying to figure out how to pay our troops because Chuck Schumer has shut down the government. You are focused on a bogus story. You're insinuating criminal wrongdoing against a guy who has done nothing wrong instead of focusing on the fact that our country is struggling because our government's shut down. Let's talk about the real issues, George. I think the American people would benefit much more from that than from you going down some weird left-wing rabbit hole where the facts clearly show that Tom Homan didn't engage in any criminal wrongdoing.
It's not a weird left-wing rabbit hole. I didn't insinuate anything. I asked you whether Tom Homan accepted $50,000, as was heard on an audio tape recorded by the FBI in September 2024, and you did not answer the question. Thank you for your time this morning.
No, George, I said that I don't.
Up next, we'll be right back.
Ooh, George muted the mic of the VP and cut to spots. Now, that's got a lot of people on the right upset, but he denied Tom Homan accepted a bribe. He said he wasn't really familiar with the tape, and nobody's really familiar with the tape because the tape's never been released. We don't know what this tape looks like. Nobody does, including MSNBC. But this is where the story started, was MSNBC. I'll take you back to Late Night Larry.
Donald Trump is now the only president in history who decided to appoint someone to a job in his administration after that person had been recorded on video by the FBI accepting $50,000 in cash. The New York Times has now backed up MSNBC's reporting, with the Times confirming all of the same facts. Tom Homan accepted on videotape from FBI agents last September who were posing as businessmen eager to get government contracts related to border security. At the time, Tom Homan was running a consulting business, advising companies on how to get government contracts.
Well, let's just stop right there. Let's just stop right there, Larry O'Donnell. So Tom Homan was not in the government. Tom Homan was running a business talking about how to actually get government contracts. Could it be that the $50,000 was in a payment for Tom Homan to advise them on how to get government contracts? And is that perfectly legal? Absolutely, it could be that. Kash Patel shut down this investigation by the FBI shortly after taking office. It's really upon Kash Patel to come on out and explain why he shut that down. Now, I'm looking at a Reuters story here. And of course, Reuters is going to want to make this as bad as possible. In an unrelated probe, the target repeatedly brought up Tom Homan, saying that he was collecting bribes in exchange for future government contracts, two sources tell Reuters. An undercover sting operation was then set up, and Homan was caught on a recording accepting a $50,000 bribe in a bag from the restaurant chain Cava. Homan oversees the Trump administration's campaign of mass deportation, blah, blah, blah. The White House says he's not involved in awarding any contracts. That sentence right there is a very important sentence. Tom Homan never has and never will be involved in awarding government contracts related to ICE or anything else. That's not in his purview. Now, can I advise you on who to speak to and what kind of issues they would like to see when they're going to give out a government contract? When I'm not working currently for the administration, yes, that is legal. That's why you see all these former senators doing it and former administration members doing it. That's how people get paid after their quote unquote life of public service. They get into the private sector and they advise people. Now, it's important that we don't leave the VP hanging out here with like it's already been proven. It hasn't been proven. Nothing's been shown yet. All you got is these allegations from the left that Kash Patel shut down an investigation, would not allow it to go further in order to protect Tom Homan. Kash Patel needs to come forth and explain why he shut that down. Please do that immediately. Let's stop the lie from running around the world over and over and over and over again, because the left thinks they've got something here, and there's going to be a bunch of people who are deceived by that lie unless you can get out in front of it. But overall, fantastic weekend for the Trump administration, fantastic weekend for the USA.